If you're wondering if the Marlin 4570 1895 is worth it, yes and no. Here's been my experience with the Marlin. When I got this gun, the trigger pull was very heavy. The sights were made of some of the softest metal. The front sight would bend left and right really easily. I mean, even in a saddle scabbard, it would move around. It would fire, it'd go off every single time. It was really reliable. Had a lot of issues feeding though, and I wound up just wrestling this gun at first. So I looked up videos, and first thing I did was I tightened down every screw on the receiver and every screw I could find as tight as I could. That seemed to fix all the feeding issues. After that, the sights were just crap. Marlin sights tend not to be very good. I don't know why that is, but most of my experience with Marlin sights is they are not good. So I replaced it with these XS ghost ring sights, and they are phenomenal. They're amazing. This gun shoots extremely accurately over and over and over again, and that problem is solved that way. For the trigger with this thing got heavier the longer I shot it. It felt like it must have been a 30-pound trigger, because I would just sit there and squeeze with my hand, and eventually it would go off. Now, I fixed that by just looking up what a Wild West trigger kit looks like for the Marlin. I think that's the company. And seeing how they had certain parts thinned out. So I stripped the gun down and I took a file. First time ever doing gunsmithing. I filed down mechanisms in the trigger and in connection with the hammer, and just thin certain things out. And now I've got this down to about a 3-pound, 2-pound trigger, and I really like it. So after doing all this work and adding on these things, you know, the ghost sights were a pricey investment, but overall completely worth it with what I've gotten out of the gun since then. And so that did make it more expensive than what I paid for at the store. The gun really should have been running well when I got it off the shelf. That's what we all expect for our dollar. So it is good once you do some work on it. If you buy one of the ones that already have all that stuff done on it, that usually run about 900 bucks, you're going to have all that built into the gun already. A friend of mine has one of those, and it's worked out pretty flawlessly from the very beginning. Mine, I bought the least expensive one I could buy that was brand new, never been fired, and it came with those issues out of the box, but I've worked past them, and now I can hunt with it. So the Marlin is sometimes worth it, but I really love mine. I love what it is now. I wish it would have come from the factory like this at the price I paid, but it didn't. So it is worth it, and it isn't worth it, in a way. Worth it if you're willing to do some work, not worth it if you're not. But the gun is strong, it's reliable, it goes off really well at this point. I'm able to line up my shots very, very, very well. So with what the gun is now, I love it. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it, and I'm going to take it on a lot of hunts with me. As a matter of fact, I'm taking it on a hunt next week. So it can be worth it.